Hello and welcome to my channel. I hope you enjoy this story. I'm going to try and upload a new story each day. The Forgotten Faces of Fractured Frames. The Isle of Wight, bathed in the eerie glow of the full moon, held secrets beneath a serene surface. Holly, an accomplished art restorer with a penchant for the macabre, arrived on the island to restore a collection of ancient paintings rumored to be cursed. The enigmatic artworks were housed in a secluded mansion that exuded an ominous horror, known locally as the Forsaken Manor. As Holly began her work, she couldn't help but notice the unsettling nature of the paintings. The collection, collectively titled The Forgotten Faces of Fractured Frames, depicted somber individuals frozen in time. Each canvas held a different face, a spectrum of emotions trapped within the strokes of the artist's brush. The first painting she tackled depicted a sorrowful woman, her tear-streaked face eternally locked in a state of melancholy. Holly meticulously worked on restoring the fading colors, unaware that the woman's expression seemed to shift as she immersed herself in the task. As the restoration progressed, the woman's sorrow transformed into a haunting, malevolent grin. Days turned into nights as Holly continued her work, growing increasingly captivated by the mysterious paintings. Her emotions became entwined with the art, and she found herself experiencing the same emotions as the faces on the canvases. The haunted mansion seemed to come alive with whispers and shadows that danced in the periphery of her vision. The townsfolk, wary of the mansion's dark history, warned Holly to leave, but her curiosity held her captive. One by one, she restored the paintings, each unveiling a new face and a new emotion. Fear, anger, despair, the spectrum of human emotion played out on the canvases, reflecting the turmoil within the Forsaken Manor. As the emotions intensified, so did the manifestations in the real world. Residents of the Isle of Wight began to report strange occurrences, objects moving on their own, ominous whispers echoing through the night, and the air thick with a sense of impending doom. The cursed paintings had become a conduit for the suppressed emotions of the past, and the island itself began to fracture under the weight of the spectral turmoil. Holly, now consumed by the darkness within the manor, continued her work, oblivious to the chaos unfolding around her. The paintings, now fully restored, held an unholy power. The faces within them no longer remained confined to the frames. They moved, whispered, and tormented the living. The once tranquil Isle of Wight became a nightmarish realm, a twisted reflection of the emotions encapsulated in the cursed paintings. Those who gazed upon the artworks found their own emotions mirrored back at them, and the island became a breeding ground for the most primal and malevolent of human emotions. Desperation seized the townsfolk as they sought a way to break the curse that had befallen their home. The key, they believed, lay in Holly, the unwitting conduit between the paintings and the real world. The art restorer, now a mere shell of her former self, wandered the halls of the Forsaken Manor, surrounded by the tortured souls unleashed from the paintings. In a climactic confrontation, the townsfolk gathered in the mansion, armed with ancient rituals and talismans. As they attempted to banish the cursed spirits back into the paintings, the very fabric of reality seemed to unravel. The forgotten faces of fractured frames resisted their imprisonment, their expression shifting between agony and ecstasy. In the end, as the final incantation was spoken, the paintings violently cracked and shattered, unleashing a tempest of otherworldly energy. The mansion, once a bastion of darkness, collapsed in on itself, taking the cursed artworks and the souls they harbored with it. As the dust settled, Holly found herself standing amidst the ruins, the island slowly returning to its tranquil state. The curse had been broken, but the price paid was steep. The Forsaken Manor, once a place of nightmares, now lay in ruins, its secrets buried beneath the rubble. The Isle of Wight, scarred by the ordeal, bore witness to a new dawn. The townsfolk, haunted by the memories of the cursed paintings, chose to forget the horrors that had transpired. Yet Holly, forever changed by her brush with the supernatural, couldn't escape the lingering shadows that whispered in the corners of her mind. The forgotten faces of fractured frames may have been banished, but their legacy lived on in the haunted memories of those who survived the ordeal, a chilling reminder that some curses are better left undisturbed. Years passed since that fateful night on the Isle of Wight, but the echoes of the cursed paintings continued to reverberate in Holly's life. Despite her best efforts to move on, the faces of the fractured frames haunted her dreams, their expressions shifting and contorting in an eternal dance of torment. Holly found solace in a quiet coastal town, far from the prying eyes and whispers of the supernatural. She took up a humble existence, attempting to bury the memories of the forsaken manor and the spectral paintings that had once held her captive. Yet the nightmares persisted, an unrelenting reminder of the thin veil that separated the mundane from the otherworldly. One day, as Holly strolled along the shore, she stumbled upon an antique shop nestled in the heart of the town. Its windows adorned with withered paintings, their frames cracked and worn, beckoned to her. Intrigued by a familiar but unsettling resonance, she stepped inside. The shop's proprietor, an elderly woman with an air of mystery, greeted Holly with a knowing smile. As Holly perused the paintings, her heart skipped a beat. There, amidst the forgotten relics, she spotted a set of frames that bore an uncanny resemblance to the fractured frames she had encountered on the Isle of Wight. The elderly woman approached Holly, her eyes holding a wisdom beyond years. "These paintings," she said, her voice a haunting melody, carry the weight of forgotten stories. "They are not cursed, my dear, but they are vessels for the emotions that linger in the shadows." Holly, torn between the desire to uncover the truth and the fear of awakening the past, hesitated. The elderly woman sensed her inner turmoil and spoke softly. "Sometimes, to truly be free, we must confront the ghosts that linger within. These paintings are not your curse. They are your redemption, drawn by an invisible force." Holly chose to delve into the mysteries of the paintings once more. With trembling hands, she began to examine each frame, feeling the pulse of emotions that resonated within them. As she gazed upon the faces, she saw the familiar expression: sorrow, anger, and despair, but this time they seemed to tell a different story. As Holly unraveled the forgotten narratives woven into the canvases, she felt a strange sense of liberation. The emotions trapped within the frames no longer sought to torment, but yearned to be acknowledged, understood, and released. With each revelation, the weight on Holly's shoulders lifted, and the nightmares that had plagued her for years began to subside. The coastal town, once touched by the spectral remnants of the fractured frames, transformed into a haven of healing. The paintings in the antique shop became a bridge between the living and the lingering spirits, offering a chance for reconciliation and closure. Holly, now a guardian of the forgotten emotions, continued to restore art, not as a means of escape, but as a conduit for understanding the human experience. The Isle of Wight, forever changed by the events that transpired within the forsaken manor, found a delicate balance between the worlds of the living and the spectral. The forgotten faces of fractured frames, once a source of terror, became a testament to the resilience of the human spirit. As Holly walked along the shores, she carried the weight of the past, not as a burden, but as a reminder that even in the darkest corners of existence there exists a glimmer of redemption and the possibility of finding peace within the fractured fragments of our own stories. Thank you for listening. I hope you enjoyed this story. Please don't forget to like, and even better, like and subscribe. Thank you very much, and I hope you have had a great day.